What's going on, everybody, and welcome to day 19 of our Juniper Networking series. In today's video, we will be taking it back to the basics and looking at the rollback feature when it comes to our Juniper Networking devices. Now, this is personally one of my favorite commands because if I do anything on this device that breaks it, or if I do a configuration change that I look back on and say, hey, I actually did not want to make that configuration change. Well, I can easily roll back to my active configuration file from before with just a simple command. Now, by default, our devices store up to 50 of our previously active configurations from before. So that is just another feature that I really like about these devices. So let's go ahead and hop into the lab and take a look at how to use the rollback command. All right, so let's hop into this configuration. Let's log into our device. Perfect. Let's do a CLI. All right, so right now the first thing that I want to do is see my interfaces on this device because that's what we're going to be changing. So let's do a show interfaces terse. And right now we can see on the GE000 and the GE001 we have IP addresses. So let's say, for instance, I want to change the 000 interface to be on the 10.0.0.1/24 network. So let's do an edit and let's do a set. Well, let's first do a delete interfaces GE000 unit 0 family inet address. We want to take the 192.168.1.1/24 address off of this interface. And now I want to do a set interfaces GE000 unit 0 family inet address, and I want to put it on the 10.0.0.1/24 network. And just for configuration's sake, let's also change the host name. So let's do a set system host name, and let's change that to bin YouTube switch number 2, and let's hit enter there. So if I was to commit these changes, let's do a show pipe compare. We would be changing the host name, so we'll be taking the bin switch number 2 off, and we will be putting the host name as bin's YouTube switch number 2. We would be adding the address for the GE000 interface of 10.0.0.1 as the IP, and we will be taking away the address of 192.168.1.1/24. So let's say that we got to this point in my editing of my candidate configuration, and I say, hey, I don't really want these changes anymore. Well, what I can do is I can just type rollback, and I can either just execute this command now, or I can do rollback 0. And now the load was complete. So now if I do a show pipe compare again, those changes that we made are no longer in effect in our candidate configuration. So if I do a commit now, you can see that commit was successful and my host name did not change. And if I do a show interfaces terse, if I do a run show interfaces terse, because I am in operational mode, run show interfaces terse. I'm in configuration mode. I don't know if I say configuration mode or operational mode, but I am in configuration mode. We can see that my interface IP address did not change either. So let's go ahead and make those changes. Let's do let's hit the up arrow, and let's actually make these configuration changes. So let's delete the interface, and let's go back up and actually make that configuration change as well. Change the IP address, and I also want to set the host name as well. So let's go back up and set the host name as well. So if I do a show pipe compare now, those same changes that we had from before are now back inside of our candidate configuration. So now let's go ahead and commit these changes. Let's commit and quit. Alright, so that commit was successful. So we can see that our host name has changed to bin's YouTube switch number 2. And if I do a show interfaces terse, we can see that the IP address on our GE000 interface has now been changed. So we've made these configuration changes, but let's say I want to go back to what I had before. Well, I can easily do this by just typing, let's do edit, and let's do rollback. And if I do a question mark, we can see we have 20 rollbacks that we can do right now, and they start at 0. Okay, so we can look at all of the rollbacks that we have all the way down into 49, and it stops at 49 because we start at 0. So that's 50 rollback configurations that are saved by default. So let's say I want to roll back to what we had previously. So we want the 192.168.1.1 back on our GE000 interface right here. And we also want to change our host name back to bin switch number 2. Okay? Well, all we have to do is do rollback number 1. And we can see another thing I want to point out is when these configuration files were committed. So we can see that this one right here, I'm going to be doing a rollback number 1 because I want to go back to my previously active configuration. And we can see the date that it was saved, the time that it was saved, and the user it was saved by. Okay, so I want to do a rollback number 1, and I want to do a commit and quit. All right, so that commit was successful. So now if I do a show interfaces terse, let me get that command ready. But first I want to point out that the host name has came back to bin switch number 2. So we no longer have that bin YouTube switch number 2. So that is from our previous configuration. And now if I do a show interfaces terse, we can see that our IP address is back to the default that we had from before, which is 192.168.1.1/24. So I just want to do a simple lab on the rollback configuration. I could do a lot more granular commands, and we can look at a lot more features when it comes to the rollback command, but I just want to keep it simple in this video right here. I appreciate you guys tuning into day 19 of our Juniper Networking series. I hope to see you in day 20, but until then, peace out.